Drake faculty, students, and staff. The series was launched less than a year before the critical Iowa caucuses, and it also helps focus attention on issues affecting Iowans. It's a tangible manifestation of Drake University's powerful commitment to be the place where Central Iowa comes together to talk about the critical issues of the day. I'd like to personally welcome Senate Majority Leader Michael Gronstel, Assistant Senate Minority Leader Jeff Angelo, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, and House Minority Whip Craig Paulson to Levitt Hall today, and we look forward to hearing your assessment of the recent session. We have 5 Drake Law students who spent considerable time at the state capitol this past session, and I'm sure several of you interacted with them, shepherding legislation on children's rights with the help of the faculty of the law school's Legislative Practice Center. They wrote the bills, recruited sponsors, attended subcommittee and committee hearings, and lobbied legislators on behalf of their client, which was Drake's Middleton Center for Children's Rights. I'm delighted to report that 3 of the bills the students championed passed both houses unanimously, and Governor Culver has already signed 2 of them and is expected to sign a 3rd. It's been a tremendous learning experience for our students, and their work will have a positive impact on Iowa youth for years to come. So I want to thank you all for the role that you played in making that happen. At this time, I'd like to convey a few thanks. First to IowaPolitics.com for coordinating these programs, and a special thanks also goes today to Mediacom for recently signing on to become the official media partner for these events. The new partnership will ensure our ability to provide quality programming in the future. Thanks to Mediacom Senior Communications Manager Phyllis Peters and Vice President of Government Relations and Community Affairs Mike Kohler. This program will now be televised to a statewide audience on the Mediacom Connections channel and will be available on video on demand. Once again, thank you for joining us today and helping make these programs a success, and it's now my pleasure to introduce Chris Dorsey, who is IowaPolitics.com's Bureau Chief and moderator of today's program. Chris?
Thank you, President Maxwell. I am Chris Dorsey. I am the Bureau Chief of IowaPolitics.com, and we would like to thank Drake ourselves for allowing us to help promote these events and hold them here, and Mediacom for being our media partner. And this is going to be an ongoing series that we're going to continue. We started it last year, and we're going to continue it on through this year. We'll have another event coming up on June 5th at the DMAC Urban Campus, where we'll be focusing on illegal immigration. With that said, just a real quick introduction. President Maxwell hit him. We have Representative Craig Paulson from Hiawatha. He is the House Minority Whip. We have Senator Gronstal from Council Bluffs, Senator Angelo from Creston, and Representative House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy from Des Moines. This legislative session ended about a 2:45 Saturday morning, and you guys have had a few days to kind of think a little bit and kind of do some reflecting on what you thought maybe was positive, maybe some things that you wish you could have done, and we're going to kind of hit those today. One of the things that kind of remains uncertain is the Chapter 20 collective bargaining agreement that Senator Gronstal sent to the governor on Friday. Though many of us weren't involved in the meeting with the governor, you guys probably have a better idea where that bill may be heading. Just kind of work down the table here. What do you think the fate of that bill will be? Representative Paulson?
Well, that remains to be seen. I have no idea which way the governor's leaning, which maybe tells Iowans that he still has an open mind on it, and you need to get a hold of him. Clearly, Republicans, and specifically House Republicans, think that bill's a recipe for a property tax increase. We also think it's a recipe for making things less challenging, I guess, in our schools. We're very concerned about some of the things that can be mandatory, negotiated now, and ultimately end up in arbitration. Some of them need to be negotiated, and I think will be. Others, it can actually drive into arbitration. Silly items too. Parking spots could theoretically end up going to an arbitrator. That just doesn't seem that's necessarily useful. School boards, county board of supervisors, city officials have overwhelmingly communicated to us this is a move in the wrong direction, and quite frankly happened without any subcommittee process. The subcommittee was well, apparently non-existent. It was an amendment dropped at the last minute on the floor and ended up going through the legislature. So we have some pretty serious concerns about this particular bill.
Well, let me say, it may surprise you, but I don't know what's going to happen to this bill. I think we've had a lot of discussions with the governor about it, and I truly don't think he's made up his mind yet. He has concerns about this legislation. He heard those concerns from local governments in the state. But I'd also tell you, people criticize this legislation. One of the criticisms was, gee, teachers would be able to negotiate class size. Would that be a bad idea? You know, my daughter Kate, when she went into the 3rd grade, walked up the week before school started, open house, walked up the steps, 2nd floor of Bloomer School in Council Bluffs, and my wife and daughter went in to meet her new teacher in the 3rd grade. And I looked on the door there, and there's a list of the students' names that are going to be there Monday morning. So I glanced at the list. There's 12 names in each column, and there's 3 columns. I look in the classroom. There's 6 rows of 5 desks. Even a 3rd grade math student can figure out on Monday there's 6 desks short. Now, when we left that night, I said to my daughter Kate, when the bus gets here on Monday, run, do not walk, run to the classroom, grab a desk, and don't get out of it for anything. Now, some people have been critical of the fact that teachers might want to negotiate about class size. I think negotiating about class size is negotiating about higher quality and better opportunity for our kids. So I'm not that afraid of this legislation, and there are a lot of people that have expressed fears about this legislation. But Representative Paulson, if the fears are real, show me the city in Wisconsin that went bankrupt. Show me the school district in Minnesota that had to lay off teachers because of open scope bargaining and binding arbitration. The states around us all have it. And so when I look at this, I hear a lot of fears out there, but nobody's shown me an example of how this would be a disaster, how it was in fact a disaster in any of the states around us. So I'm hopeful the governor signs it. I'm hopeful upon his review of the concerns about it, he'll recognize that most of those are overblown concerns and really a little bit more the fear of the unknown.
Well, picking up though on Senator Gronstall's point, I think that one of the concerns that folks have expressed about the collective bargaining law as it was passed was the lessening of accountability as far as local school board members, as far as legislators. Senator Gronstall stated under this bill you could negotiate class size. Now we as lawmakers actually appropriate millions of dollars every year for the purposes of reducing class size. And the problem there then would be is, well, to what class size? We would appropriate the money, but would not know on the local level or on any level what class size we're actually paying for. There's also some other legitimate concerns in our schools that this particular bill ends the probationary period for new teachers and also makes it harder to get rid of bad teachers. And there are specific policy moves that this bill makes that I think causes those fears to be legitimate. They are being voiced by our local school boards and our local administrators. I agree with Senator Gronstall. None of us know how the bill what's going to happen with the bill.